Hey everyone, before we get going, I just wanted to let you know that today, when you're watching this, is my 28th wedding anniversary. Woo! 28 years we've been married, 29 years we've been together. Thank you, Haley, for always being there for me. I really appreciate it. Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing. And also check out our website at lifewithparkinsons.ca for more information about this channel and our sponsors. For everybody else, thank you for keeping up with all of our videos. We really look forward to interacting with you every week, and we appreciate all your support and love and care. Thank you so very much. Many of you probably remember that my rescue medication was discontinued this year. It really is and was a big issue for me, not just for myself, but anybody on this rescue medication in Canada was in the same boat as I was. Across the board it was being discontinued. There was no alternative rescue medication to take the place of the apomorphine, which I still find really surprising. For me, it was a shocking situation that caused a lot of desperation. Thankfully, though, the desperation did lead me to a partial solution for this problem, which we will talk about more later. Let's get to today's episode. Why did I submit a petition to the federal government? The Movapa was being discontinued. I was going to go on the Kinmobi, then the Kinmobi got discontinued, and then it was like, what do? Run and hide, the sky is falling. Literally, that's how it felt, because back when this all happened, my desperation levels were extremely high because I'd gone for my regular checkup with my neurologist, and basically I was crying in the office. I was just like, I gotta leave here with something, because my off times were becoming so laborious. It was like 4 or 5 hours through the day that I was off. Basically, I would hit a peak on the L-DOPA and then hit a big valley off the L-DOPA. So I was peaking up and down like this all day long, and it became so tiring. The Movapa became a good fix for me, even though it did create a lot of dyskinesia. And along with that off time came a lot of freezing, so I was beginning to worry about falling. So I cried, and that's when my neurologist came up with the Movapa idea, which I was very grateful for, because that stuff could lift me out of a bad off in like 10 to 15 minutes. I was just in such a desperate place, and I felt there were a lot of other Canadians out there in the same sort of desperate situation that I was. I was like, okay, there's got to be some way that I can help myself and help other people at the same time. And another thought was that there are so many people being diagnosed younger and younger who are going to have Parkinson's for a long period of time. To give up a treatment option in Canada when there are so many fewer options than other places that I know for Parkinson's treatment, I felt was a big loss for Canada as a whole. And this is just my opinion. Those are the main reasons. So then I contacted the Parkinson Society, and their suggestion was like, you really need to contact your local MP, which I did. And my local MP here in the area I'm in the Okanagan, is Dan Albas, and he turned out to be a really good help. And one of the things he suggested was the petition. So his office helped me to spearhead that campaign and drafted up a petition that I submitted. And then off to the races we were, running blindly into this fog. I certainly had no idea what was going to happen. Would I do it again? Okay, to answer that question properly, you would probably need to talk to my sister Sherry, who was the real force and energy behind this whole campaign. When I told her about it, she was like, I'm going to contact all the media I can in Canada. I'm going to call everybody. So she sent out like countless emails, hours on the phone, messages here, there, and everywhere, all around the country. She was contacting people, trying to get news coverage for this petition. And finally she got a hit with casting it here in the Okanagan. We did put an article out that put us close to the minimum 500 signature point. But it was really Sherry calling like people in our extended family and getting those last 50 or 60 signatures in. Basically, this whole effort was really my sister's, and she deserves a round of applause and a massive thank you from everybody in the Parkinson's community just to try and get this petition into the House of Commons, which she did. And I am very grateful for all of her help. When I asked her the question, would she do it again, she said yes. We don't have a petition right now that we want to submit. But next time, we would need to put a support network in place and have people and media ready to go to get the energy and the avalanche effect behind another petition. Because starting off blindly like this, we definitely learned a lot. Like, what was the result and response of this petition? Well, most importantly, we got our voices heard as the petition made it to the House of Commons and got tabled and did get a response from the federal government. But the one thing I learned is that I think I would need to spend more time thinking about what I was asking for, because in this case, when you read the response, and I'll put a link here in the description below so everybody can see the response of the federal government. Like, one of the things I learned was that obviously the government can't make a company sell what they don't want to sell. It was a little crazy of me to think that the government could force a company to bring back the apple morphine. Even though at the time, that's what I thought. That's what my brain just clamped a hold of that and wouldn't let go. The federal government did indicate in their response that if there was another company who wanted to sell the apple morphine, they would be all for it. So that's just what I'm saying. I think I would need to think more about what I was asking. Another thing that struck me about the government's response was the amount of money they throw at the healthcare system and Parkinson's research. And I had no idea about how staggering the numbers were. It made me feel that it should beg the question of how much money is enough to find a better solution for Parkinson's. And that's something I have no idea how to answer. It just begs the question of how much money is enough. And I'm going to leave that up to people that are smarter than I am, because I really have no idea. And it also brought me back to a comment I've made before. It's like, in this modern age, we need to be actively advocating for ourselves and for others just to get the treatments and the results that we need, so we don't end up in the desperation cycle, which can be very harmful. And I mentioned earlier how the desperation in my case found a new option was the do-it-yourself homemade Parkinson's gloves. And at the end of this video, I'll put a link up here to the latest video about that. You know, during this time of desperation, a viewer sent me a Facebook message introducing me to the Parkinson's gloves on YouTube. And that's how this whole project started. There's a good chance that video is already up here. And I just want to thank you for watching and supporting this channel. Thank you for taking this journey together. And if you have any thoughts, questions, leave them in the comments below. I look forward to reading them every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.